Holy smokies, it ain't no jokies, XRP holders. The crypto market continues to drop, but is this a coordinated attack to bring prices down in order to buy low? Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. Right now, we're seeing the crypto market in a very interesting situation. But before that, please read the disclaimer. So right now, XRP is sitting at $1.25. XRP, very interestingly, dropped all the way down to $1.19, so under $1.20 here, but has popped up about 3%. But if you go to the low here that we saw just a few hours ago, XRP is up 4.6%. The Bitcoin also dropped all the way, very, very interestingly, to my support level and bounced off of that. So you can see Bitcoin drop to the 65,000 range. Remember, we just talked about this last night about that possibility, and next day that happened. So this is very interesting what we are seeing now. Of course, the fear and greed index dropped to 11 last night. And if the price of Bitcoin continues to sit at this range, we'll probably be in one digits tomorrow on the fear. But do you feel fearful? That is the question. Or do you feel optimistic? Do you feel, are your juices flowing, right? On what's currently happening in the crypto market? People are looking at this situation. They're looking at the liquidations, almost 1.86 billion. Although over the last hour, it has been a little bit of a short squeeze, a tiny one. But if you zoom out, last 12 hours, you can see most of it is happening on the long. Not so much for XRP, only 13 million over the last 12 hours. And if we go even farther out, I don't even see XRP here on the table, which means that it's really small. So interestingly, most of the sell-off here doesn't seem to be from liquidations on XRP. So that may be why it's bouncing back a little bit stronger right now. But on the flip side, it did hit its lowest point since February 5th, February 6th, whereas, Bitcoin still had lower levels. Ethereum hit its lowest level. It was similar here. Solana hit lowest levels. So XRP Solana hit kind of lowest levels that it's seen since that February 5th drop off there. And the question is, before we get to the question, maybe the reason why it's selling off for the past few hours, the first reason could be that Iran has launched a massive ballistic missile and drone attack, striking the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, along with U.S. bases in Kuwait, Ali al-Saman plus Afirjan, and an oil tanker near Dubai in response to the new U.S. strikes on Qasem Island and an Iranian oil tanker near the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says it has officially abandoned their retaliation, now striking back at least 1.5 times harder. For every U.S. attack, with IRGC warning, disrupting the security of the strait will have heavy price for the invading U.S. military, according to sources here. And so this brings a situation where oil is popping back to 95. We were just at 80, what was that, 86, right? So just over the last few days, since the kind of talks collapsed there, oil is up 10%. So, that's a significant pop there for oil because so much is being emphasized around the inflation in the US and what the new Fed chairman is going to do and how that could affect, crypto. And so this could be the reason why we saw the crypto market sell off there even more. Of course, if you watched the video yesterday, we talked about the Mt. Gox Bitcoin moving. We talked about Saylor selling that small amount of Bitcoin that got people freaked out a little bit. But could this all be, right, a play here to get crypto as low as possible in order to buy pre-Clarity Act? So when we're looking right now, it seems that Clarity Act is going to soon get on the floor. The question is going to be, will there be enough votes? Will the bill, will there be issues? Will they have to fix things? Will they have to change things? Will people reject things? And that could delay. But if none of that happens, right, and that's a perfect world, then we should get Clarity Act passed here towards mid-July, maybe towards the end of the summer. Of course, the president said July 4th, but who knows? And then you're having a situation where potentially this is a rumor, right? So this is a theory that institutions are pushing Bitcoin lower so they can buy at cheaper prices before the Clarity Act is signed into law. We've seen similar patterns before. In August 2022, BlackRock filed for a private Bitcoin trust, and Bitcoin later dropped about 36% before forming a bottom. In June 2023, BlackRock filed the first spot Bitcoin ETF, and Bitcoin later surged almost 100%. By January 2024, when spot ETFs were approved, Bitcoin hits new all-time highs of 126. So potentially this could be something similar to what is happening in previously, where institutions push the asset down to a specific area pre the potential run up of I'm going to buy the rumor, right? So the rumor is that Clarity Act's going to pass. Are institutions pushing it enough, creating enough fear in order to buy at lower levels? Now, if you go and you look to Benjamin Cohen has been pretty on the money on what's going to happen. But before that, I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Also, remember that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or to send me anything. Those are scammers. Those are imposters. Please be very careful out there. Okay. Also, if you're interested, our partner BTCC will give the opportunity to go long, to go short on the market. Maybe you think we hit a bottom and now's the time to start going heavy on leverage. Maybe you want to short the market right now because you think Bitcoin, XRP, and everything's going to sell off significantly. BTCC is my go-to exchange. This is the exchange I use daily for my trading. So if you are interested, a link is in the description down below and you'll get some bonuses. Again, this is an affiliate link, so it helps me out. It keeps the lights on here in my house. And so link is in the description down below. And please, please, please trade responsibly. Okay, so we'll get to that in just a second. Benjamin is talking about a situation where Bitcoin forms a low in June, like it did in 2018 and 2022. Bitcoin rallies in July, and SPX correction, the S&P 500, correction later in the year, which allows Bitcoin to finally bottom, most likely in October, and then we see a run up. So Benjamin is predicting this play out. Maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong. Nobody knows exactly how the markets are going to play out. Again, Clarity Act could eat the cards here a little bit, and Benjamin's theories might go out the window that he's talking about how 4-year cycle wins again, but we already saw that the 4-year cycle didn't play out as the previous 4-year cycle. So it's kind of hard to say, oh, something works when it didn't work. So you can't say, oh, only this part of the 4-year cycle works, only that part of the 4-year cycle works, right? So it's kind of tricky. And again, I think that the 4-year cycle might work, but it didn't go bananas on this time. I think, just from my analysis and what I am, talking and researching and theorizing, is because of interest rates. And that's why it's so important that inflation comes down so we can get those interest rates reduced, because in 2018 and in 2022, we had low interest rates, or 2017 and 2021, we had low interest rate ecosystem in the US. Right now, we're not seeing that. Interest rates are still high. They've been high for a long period of time. And so that, I think, again, that's my theory, that's the reason why we never had the banana zone. Other people might say different. What could be beneficial is right now, it seems that some pro crypto representatives are advancing in their elections. We'll see what happens with the midterm elections, but the question is, do crypto PACs have any incentive to spend against people that are anti-crypto or things like that? And that's going to be interesting to see on these midterm elections. How much will crypto be an issue, and how much will crypto have an influence, and will it help Republicans lose or win the current majorities in the House and Senate? That we'll find out soon. And again, I've told you this historically. The markets do good when there's a president and a House and Senate that are the same color, you could call it, right? So if it's a Republican president and House and Senate Republicans, markets do good. If it's a Democratic president, House and Senate Democrat, it does good. If it's a mixed bag, it usually doesn't do so good because the markets are concerned that things won't get done. With the whole AI situation, I don't know what's going on. Maybe this time will be different. By the way, if you haven't started watching our stock channel and you're interested in stocks, it's actually doing really good. Like we got 7,000 views on this video and 5,000 views on this video. Similar to what we're getting on this channel a little bit. I don't know to laugh or to cry about that. With only 939 subscribers on the channel. But it is what it is. I know that a few things right now, like we've talked about before, for you that have been on the channel for a while, the crypto market has lost a lot of its pizzazz over the last few months. Basically since October, right? I've seen a significant decline in interest, and people are, they're more attracted by the shiny thing that's going up a lot. So I understand where that's coming from. I'm not. I'm not salty about it. I'll continue to bring you content about crypto market because I know a lot of you are very interested just in crypto market. But my opinion is that we need to be diversified and we need to be in all kinds of areas in our investing journey. On that channel, we're talking about all kinds of different stocks. I'm trying not to pigeonhole myself a little bit. So again, if you're interested in broader market analysis, talking a little bit more about stock market, that's where it's going to be right now. So the link is in the description down below. You can sign up and you can start the journey there as well. Interestingly, Ripple decided to open up an office in DC. This is real interesting. Does Ripple want to get closer to the plate, right? We're seeing Stuart say, excited to share that Ripple is expanding its presence in Washington, D.C. Our larger DC office reflects our long-term commitment to constructive engagement, clear rules of the road, and responsible financial innovation. When you have representatives right there near to where all the things are getting done, it's easier for quote unquote lobbying right, to get stuff that you want. So this is a very interesting move here from Ripple, because why else would they go to Washington, D.C.? It's not like it's a tech hub or something like that. The only reason why would be to be close to the politicians. So this is a very interesting move here from Ripple. Mastercard is launching 24/7 settlement with USD, PYUSD, and RLUSD. Mastercard is expanding settlement support regulated stablecoins on chain, including on weekend and holidays. Support assets will include Circle, Paxos, and Ripple's RLUSD and SoFi USD. Earlier users include Cross River, Leadbank, CBW, ARQ, and Nuvei. So another possibility for RLUSD to get some juice there, to be on a 24/7 support settlement, easier to use. I didn't even know that it didn't have 24/7 settlement. That's kind of weird, but now it does. You get information every single day about stuff that's happening. And listen, the markets, we'll see what happens here with Bitcoin, with XRP, with crypto. Right now, for example, not all markets are doing good. Like the Indian market is not doing great. Indian stock market lost 53 billion of its value. In just 1 month, India has fallen to 7th place globally by total market capitalization. We talked about how Taiwan, even went past it. Such a small country relative to India, and so you never know what's going to happen. You never know how an economy is going to play out, how things are going to play out. I've told you this before. I used to be a lot more optimistic about life in general. I'm still very optimistic, but over the past few years, I just keep the monkey on my shoulder. I know that things can shift, things can turn for the better and for worse. Over the past year, I've been at some of the lowest points, and I've been some at my highest points. Just from trading and gains and losses, and I've experienced all of these things, and so it affects me a lot less now that I have experienced a lot of it. Whereas I think that if I had not experienced all these things right now, in the future, and hopefully I'm able to grow my portfolios to be a lot bigger, it won't affect me as much as it would if I wouldn't have gone through all these things. I don't know how I would sleep at night, in 20 years. If you grow your portfolio from, let's say you're at a $10 million portfolio, right? And the markets drop 10% and suddenly you're down $1 million. That's hard, right? Oh my God. But if you've already experienced big gains and losses, so by the time you get to that age, you're okay. Or to that portfolio, you're okay to deal with that. You're not kicking yourself every single time that you have a big gain or a loss, or you're not too excited when you have the big gains. So I think that any experience is good experience, and it's important to learn from it and process it. And hopefully, this will just be another experience on the wheel of experiences, this sell-off here that the crypto market is experiencing. And we'll see how all of it plays out. Don't forget to smash the like button. Check out the links in the description down below to BTCC and to the new stock channel if you are interested. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.